Good afternoon, good morning. It's Mark Johnson from Loyalty 360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome you back to another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series. In this series, we speak with leading brands about what they are seeing on the front lines of customer, channel, and brand loyalty. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Carlo Savino, who's the Vice President of eCommerce for North and Latin America at Lenovo. How are you today, Carlo?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Good to see you again, Mark.
Good, nice to see you as well. First off, we'd like to start these on a more personal note. So we'd love to know a little bit more about you, your history, background a little bit, and your role within Lenovo.
Sure. I manage the B2C and the B2B business here at Lenovo.com for the North America and Latin American businesses. And I've been here for just over 5 years. I've had a couple of decades at this point in the sort of .com OEM space, the original equipment manufacturer PC space, and I've just been really privileged to be a part of an organization that's passionate about what we do, passionate about customers, passionate about winning, and really dedicated to building next generation kind of ideas to improve our digital e-commerce marketplace.
Okay, great. And a fun fact about you, maybe a passion you have 14 kids. Do you like to parasail? Do you like this extreme ski? What's something
No,
like
none of the above. None of the above. I think the only thing that's maybe the one thing that's interesting about me is that I actually went to my original degree is in zoology, and I have a real passion for animals and pets and all sorts of fauna. I never imagined that I would sit in front of a computer 12 hours a day on video calls. I really sort of envision myself being out in the wilderness somewhere, attending to some sort of sick animal. But you don't necessarily always live up to the dreams of a kid. But no, that's my fun fact. I was a zoology major, and now I work in e-commerce.
Wow, that's a transition there, but you seem to be doing quite well. So the world is more fortunate that you're in the current role. So that's good.
Thank you, sir.
For those who may not be familiar with Lenovo, can you give us a short history of the company, how you guys came into being, what you guys do?
Sure. So Lenovo started in 1984, and over the past almost 40 years at this point has grown into a $70 billion revenue global technology company, and we're ranked somewhere in the number 170 in the Fortune Global 500. We employ about 82,000 people, and we build technology solutions from pocket to cloud across consumers, small businesses, public sector, education, K through 12, global accounts, every day in over 180 markets across the globe.
Okay.
The Lenovo is within North America. Interestingly enough, Lenovo is the number one PC manufacturer in the world. In North America, not nearly number one, and not quite as well known as a brand name as some of the other original equipment manufacturers in the market. But what's interesting is that gives us a little bit of an edge. And I consider Lenovo in North America to be very much a challenger brand. And it allows us to be able to build a culture that is really dedicated towards relentlessly pursuing new ideas and moving fast to be able to go try new things and to attract and retain customers.
Well, that's great. And it's a perfect segue. When you look at your loyalty program, the MyLenovo Rewards program, very successful program, significant growth. When you look at the program, an overview, how the program works, how you designed it, how do members engage with the program?
Yeah, so we came up with the idea of MyLenovo Rewards about 4 years or so ago, and we really wanted to provide customers with a way to earn rewards on everything that they buy on Lenovo, which includes traditional PCs, includes gaming consoles, monitors, docking stations, software, really everything that's adjacent to the PC purchase. We felt like loyalty was a real catalyst to get us towards our sort of long-term North Star of how do we become more of an electronics destination at Lenovo.com. But as importantly, we also looked at our MyLenovo Rewards program as a way to be able to continue engage and drive good conversations with our customers throughout the product lifecycle. And we're kind of a unique industry where, as you know, people buy laptops and desktops, and they do so, they typically refresh somewhere in every 3 to 5 years. So very easy for customers to come into our conversion funnel, engage with us over a very brief amount of time, and then go dormant and not really come back for the next 3 or 5 years. This loyalty program really gives us an opportunity to continue and engage and have authentic conversations with these customers and continue to keep them connected with us as a brand, even sort of in between those product lifecycle milestones.
Quick question: when you look at kind of keeping the engagement strong throughout that 3 to 5 year window, how do you do that? Is it surveys? Is it asking about potential product upgrades or enhancements or ancillary pieces of technology they may want to engage with or purchase?
Absolutely. And one of the things that we found to be most impactful is not only the engagement that we have at the point of sale, where we give rewards based on purchases, but it's really an experiential program as well. There are ways for us to reward customers based on holidays, such as a birthday. We ask surveys and ask for feedback constantly about our products and services, and even more importantly, about how we can continue to evolve our loyalty program to add more value to it over time. And these sort of engagements with customers allow us to really ask them questions that we wouldn't be able to otherwise, and solicit information to help us build a better product roadmap for our PCs, as well as for our platforms like MyLenovo Rewards.
Okay, excellent. You talked about development of the program. You talked about keeping the engagement. What's the main objective? Just to keep engagement, to understand, to create that unique bond throughout the life cycle of the program, or the life cycle of the customer, should I say?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the primary goal is for us to create an authentic way for us to retain, to keep top of mind with customers and keep engaged with our customers. I think the secondary consideration is how do we leverage, or how do we use our rewards platform to be able to encourage people to consider us for purchases adjacent to the PC. Again, sort of printers, monitors, keyboards and mice, docking stations, etc. We have a lot of product offerings on Lenovo.com. We typically are well known for the PC side of things, but we do have that really broad portfolio of great consumer electronics across hundreds of just world-class brands that we believe are going to be relevant for customers during their sort of PC purchase lifecycle. And the loyalty program that we have really helps facilitate a dialogue with these customers that's beyond a transaction. Too often, Mark, one of the things I've noticed as I look at the sort of loyalty landscape is too many businesses focus on the transactional element of loyalty. That is, how do I use loyalty to drive another sale? And that's really important, because there's always a business case with these kinds of things. But I think what's great about the people who are working on this particular loyalty program, MyLenovo Rewards, is how passionate they are about the sort of emotional element of rewards and the special perks that come with different types of campaigns that we run, whether it's a surprise and delight campaign that we do for accounts that haven't been engaged with us for a little while, whether it's birthday emails that celebrate your birthday and give you rewards points, whether it's engaging in our broad communities, talking to other customers, helping other customers with solve their problems, where we reward those kinds of things. So it really is a nice full-featured platform that not only sort of delivers on the transactional elements of what's important in a loyalty program to go drive repeat purchases, but also really speaks to the heart and mind of giving people more in sort of mission-driven or emotional types of perks as well.
Okay. Hitting over 1 million customers in the program is quite a benchmark, a milestone for sure. Continue having great success with the program. What insights and data are you kind of gleaning to kind of help you in the success of this program?
A lot. I like to say at Lenovo, we're a culture of metrics. Anything that can be measured is measured, and we look at data quite a lot to be able to go sort of fine tune and make decisions. One of the first things that we did was we started to go look at what were our customer telling us that they cared about? What could we add into our rewards programs to make people feel like they were getting more value out of the program? The first thing we did is we added in free shipping. Then we extended it into our small business segment. So now a MyLenovo Rewards customer can transact through our consumer business as well as our sort of small business portal, which we call Lenovo Pro. Then we expanded into Canada, and we've seen just enormous engagement from our Canadian customers up there who are very vocal about the program, love it, and give us great feedback on how do we continue to iterate on the value proposition. And then we make those decisions about how do we start to go deploy our loyalty program globally. It's really gratifying to me that 1 million customers have trusted us to be a loyalty program for their PC and technology needs. I'm completely gratified. And it's also given us a lot of momentum internally to start to go look at how do we expand this program outside of North America so that other geographies can take advantage of the great sort of platform and foundation that we built. So we use that data to be able to go determine what does customer lifetime value look like, what is the premium that we see in revenue per visit or margin per visit for a loyalty customer versus a non-loyalty customer. We look at adoption within. We look at adoption or penetration of loyalty revenue as a percentage of our total revenue. So there's a lot of things that we look at that allow us to be able to really fine tune this program and develop the new feature set and value for the future.
Okay. I know you've added a number of new features, new benefits into the program. New ways to earn, interactive Lenovo communities, and other engaging activities. How has enhancing and evolving your customer loyalty program enhanced customer loyalty as a whole?
It's a fantastic question. I mean, it continues to give us just an amazing insight into our customers and what they're looking for when it comes to technology products. It also, by virtue of the fact that we have these communities where we encourage people to have one-on-one conversations and build connections with other like-minded people. We have a small business community, we have a student community, we have a gaming community. It's given us an opportunity to know a lot more about them as people and as members, and be able to go sort of facilitate some of the conversations that they have with other like-minded people within these communities. And we use loyalty points to encourage and facilitate those conversations. But when we look at the value of it, I think we, as any marketer, any e-commerce person, really any person that's focused on sales, can appreciate how important it is to drive retention. And with the cost per acquisition going up across the board, different businesses and media dollars needing, under pressure as costs go up in general for digital media, it's really become important for us to retain customers in general. And I'm really proud to say that when we look at our retention metrics for people who are MyLenovo Rewards customers versus people that aren't, we retain customers at almost 4 times the rate if you're a loyalty customer than if you're not a loyalty customer. So loyalty and retention really go hand in hand. And I think this idea of being able to go couple the transactional element of what we do, as well as the sort of emotive, perks-based program has been a real fantastic platform.
Okay. When you look at your customers, going into COVID, there was a big push to, have work at home. More computers were probably needed as people stayed home for the initial part of COVID. So there's definitely been some change going into COVID, coming out of COVID. Customers are changing as well. How do you feel your customers are changing, and what challenges and opportunities do you see, within your customer set?
Well, it feels like a blur the last 3 years, quite honestly, and so much has changed. I mean, the pandemic showed us just how important technology is to everybody. The demand for connectivity and the demand for technology products during the early period, and frankly, that lasted for over a year, showed how important it was for technology to facilitate people learning, going to school virtually, for commerce to happen as businesses went virtual and had conversations over Teams, for people to stay connected to their loved ones. I mean, it was really, really endearing to see how important technology became as people just set up Zoom meetings or team meetings or calls with friends and family that they hadn't seen in a long time. So technology really was that sort of catalyst. But quite honestly, people expect more from their technology now. They expect it to be viable, they expect it to be versatile, reliable, and they want premium features like high quality speakers, cameras, and screens. And these are the kinds of things that we listen to our customers and start to go build into our product roadmap. The one thing that strikes me is that 2.5 years ago, I had no appreciation for how prevalent hybrid working was going to be. The idea of an entire workforce working from home, having their setup was a completely foreign concept to me. And it goes to show you that now hybrid work is really become a way of life for a lot of people and a lot of businesses. And we know it's a competitive market in that space. And we just want to be able to provide innovative solutions to customers wherever they want to work or play. The other thing that the last thing I'll say is, as we think about this, what's been interesting is to see how many brands have really embraced mission-driven marketing and loyalty value propositions. And more than ever, customers are being discretionary about the dollars that they spend. And interestingly enough, they want to give back. And the extent to which businesses allow them or help that happen at a much larger scale, I think really makes people feel better about the broader impact that they can have on their communities, both local and global, which is something that we absolutely stand for at Lenovo. So, I mean, loyalty is critical to us. Customer behaviors have changed, and we constantly listen to what they're thinking and how do we adapt and how do we build more value in the platform. And I've been very proud to be able to see what's happened here for MyLenovo Rewards.
Okay. When you look at kind of the economic uncertainty the U.S. and kind of the whole world is going through, still had pretty strong job growth, high inflation, and then kind of the bank challenges we had last month. How can loyalty programs and customer loyalty focus be a hedge against some of that economic uncertainty? I mean, you can't address some of the macro level trends necessarily all the time, but how can the loyalty program and processes you develop be kind of a hedge against some of those issues?
I think when in both in times of economic uncertainty and times when there is economic certainty, customers have discretion over how they spend their hard-earned dollars. And they also have discretion not only how they spend it, but where they spend it. But a loyalty program like MyLenovo Rewards enables them to stretch their dollar further. Reward points can be redeemed on purchases, and frankly, can over the long term can reduce the cost of products that may interest them. So we really see rewards as a way to be able to allow customers to have their dollar stretch further and to get more value per dollar out of technology through a program like ours. Okay.
In your role running e-commerce for North and Latin America, that big responsibility. E-commerce is what is the biggest challenge you face in your role? What kind of keeps you up at night?
Outside of the extent to which we can continue to retain customers and service customer needs, I think the thing that keeps me up is the fact that this business and this industry is so fast paced and it is constantly changing. And any person in an organization, in a business like an e-commerce business that is not paying attention to what's happening to the market and the industry is going to be left behind. So it's important for us to take in feedback, to look at the sort of landscape, and always be looking to improve our program. Our stated goal internally is to be the gold standard for loyalty programs and always be meeting customer needs. And that's a very aspirational goal, and one that it requires sort of constant momentum to be able to go deliver to. So I would say any leader, any company needs to look at where they're thriving and where they're lagging to ensure that they continue to provide the products and solutions to meet customer needs as they evolve.
Okay. When you look at other brands, are there some certain brands that you are loyal to that have a great loyalty program or loyalty perspective or approach? What other brands might you admire?
We spent a lot of time looking at examples across the industry, and Loyalty 360 has been a really good catalyst for us to understand what's happening in the market, and to get introduced to lots of great partners who allow us to come together and think about things. When I think about, loyalty programs that we look at, that we admire, that we look as sort of the ways to be able to go connect with customers, I personally like Sephora. I think Sephora's loyalty program is fantastic. Ulta has a great loyalty program. I think the other things so we look outside of our industry quite a lot to say, what are the organizations and what are the programs that are really changing the nature of loyalty and winning both on the transactional side as well as on the hearts and minds side. I think the other thing that's interesting, perhaps longer term, is some of these cross vertical programs like credit card loyalty and airline MyLoyalty, where you can redeem across a variety of verticals. Very interesting, and we certainly keep an eye on those kinds of programs as well. But those are just a handful of some of the programs that we look at and admire.
Okay. And if you could ask someone running one of those programs, ones you might admire, or a successful program, or even just kind of a general question with regard to customer loyalty of someone else in the industry, what would that question be?
I think it would be, how do you measure, or how do you use loyalty to measure customer satisfaction, and how do you use information and insights gleaned from your customers to be able to go evolve your program? How do you define what's important to your customers, and then how do you build a loyalty program based on that? That would be what I'd ask anybody that was running a business like that, is what's the connection between what your customers want and are passionate about, and how you start to go build that into a loyalty program.
Okay. And Carlo, last question I have for you, what can Loyalty 360 do to help you and your team with your customer loyalty efforts?
I think Loyalty 360 is great about sharing the latest trends, kind of explaining some of the new programs and platforms out there, case studies on what other brands are doing for their customer loyalty programs. It's great to be able to go see things that you never knew could be effective, and just sort of some off the wall ideas on things that could be meaningful for customers. There have been a couple of times where we've used some of these case studies to be able to go develop some new ideas in our own program. So just getting access to what great minds across the loyalty market are doing, and how passionate they are about solving customer problems, and how they're translating that into features for their loyalty program.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's a great list of things to focus on. I think that we do most of those. So thank you very much for looking at that and
absolutely
recommending that. So, well, Carlo, it's been great talking with you, getting caught up on the loyalty program. Again, congratulations for blowing through the 1 million member kind of benchmark, and continue to have great success, and look forward to hearing more from the program and you in the coming year.
Thank you, and thank you for your support and for Loyalty 360 support.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone else for taking the time to listen today. Make sure you join us back for another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series soon. Have a wonderful day.